All right. Man, I'm such a bad mood. I lost work. I'm really annoyed. Annoyed. And also what happened was it has reset the settings for Photoshop to default install. And I noticed a lot of other programs that were running at the moment. There was a power out, and I noticed that a lot of other programs that were on during the power out got corrupted setting files. So I don't wanna click around in other programs and be even more annoyed. And I was like happily working along, saving the files, and then the power out, and I have this battery pack, right, that helps the computer stay on even if there's no electricity. So that was kicking in, and I was like, all right, hit save and switch off. So I hit save, switched off, and switched it back up again and looked, and I opened the PSD file, and the PSD file had 0 layers, just one layer which was all black, and the whole file is you know, 0 data PSD. And I was like, just been sitting here for a good 15 minutes just screaming in my head. Being annoyed, really annoyed. Hey Alessandra, Zelin, Dr. Sheldon, how's it going? Yeah, so I'm in a bad mood. Yeah, no, even worse was like I was like in the zone. Each like step was just smooth going forward. Like, yeah, this is turning out great. Little small adjustments that just came up at the very last moment, and just everything clicked. And of course, it had to just take a big old massive dump on it. And now I'm sad face. So, any suggestions on what to draw? I don't. And I opened the backup file that was from yesterday, and I just look at the wall I need to climb to get to the point where I was already, and I'm like, ugh. Know exactly what I need to do, all the changes I need to do again. I just don't want a woolly mammoth. I guess Freud was right in his graphics. Or Spirit of Seasons, Dead as Stare. Alright, so we got 2 topics. Any more suggestions? Hey, Weeping Jay, how's it going? We have 2 topics, Woolly Mammoth and Spirit of the Seasons. Any other, or I will roll the dice and split it in half. Oh, let's get this warm up done. Alright, doesn't seem to be any more suggestions. So we'll split it in half. So let's roll again. First 3, okay. Woolly Mammoth it is. Woolly Mammoth? Yeah, it's gonna be Woolly Mammoth. 88. Woolly just do in this. Hey Jacob, how's it going? I am sad face. I lost work and I'm angry, pissed off, and Photoshop is back to default. Hey Fresh, how's it going? Jacob, no worries. It wasn't really a crit per se. It was more of like an observation, you know. It wasn't like any real pain over or any constructive feedback, really. Mostly just, hey, by the way. But man, I'm super annoyed. Luckily I had my brushes saved, so I'm not really, in terms of Photoshop, like really set back that much. Like I can easily, you know, I just need to rearrange all the windows, rearrange all the settings. You know, it's not that much of a pain, but it's so. I think it's mostly just annoying when it happens. You know, you don't want to lose work that you've already done. But nevertheless, it happened, you know. Hey, Miss Moss, how's it going? Oh, the timer isn't done. Oh, so minus 3 minutes, that's 27. Let's go. There we go. Yeah, so I'm not really sure. There's is any one of you I'm annoyed. I lost work, so I'm pissed off. I'm pouty. Is any one of you going to any workshops this year, by the way? Is anyone, I mean, assuming anyone in America will go to Lightbox, right? I'm personally Invis Graphics. You're going to Lightbox? You want to go to Lightbox, Miss Martha? Yeah, it looks like a really cool, cool workshop, massive. And I also saw that they will have some sort of Oscars of concept art. And it's open for submission of like recognition. Yeah, it's a lot of, I'm assuming it's quite expensive. Oh, you're enrolled in schoolism, Miss Monster. That's cool. What did you enroll in? Frenchy, you haven't finished all the videos for I Am Mag? How is that event, by the way? It seems always like there's tons of cool things happening in IAMAG. IAMAG. Hey Morphia, how's it going? You did a self-study one? What does that mean? Does that mean you don't have any hand-holding, but you just get the class content and you do it yourself? And there's no one-to-one? And I assume that's cheaper. No crits, but you get course plus assignments. Oh, so you get like the homework plus the instructional videos. That's pretty cool. Hi, Cisa. Miss Monster. That's interesting. How many of you have done that particular setup of no instructor but the content? And what do you think of it? Miss Monster, wow, that's a massive difference. That's a massive difference. 1K per class, holy. Okay, some good money made for schoolism. 1K a class. And the class is 8 weeks, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, a year. What's the setup? Eight weeks. That's crazy. Good for them. I remember CGMA, what, 6 years ago, forward. It was, I think it was around $500. And I was like, oh, that's a lot of money. But 1,000? Double. Miss Monster. That's interesting. So you have 1 year to do the class. Hi Cisa, 800. All right. Well, they have to up the cost, right? If schoolism is a K or 1K. Hey Artie, how's it going? Welcome. Miss Monster. So not only the class you bought, but you just bought like an access pass to their whole assortment. Ah, so it's like, all right, so you just sub like access to their content, and you do the homeworks yourself, and all these things, and there's no real interaction. You just like you can lurk the content, and you have access for for a year. But so you can finish a class and then finish a class and then finish a class. Is just you just have the access to all the data there, and you can study until you drop. Is that the setup? Or is it like, oh, you finished one class, now you can't? Jacob, you heard bad things about the Craig Mullins one? I heard great things about the Craig Mullin ones. I mean, it depends on who you listen to, right? Maybe that person that you heard complaining about Craig Mullins is a similar person, let's say like you. So that means that what their experiences will be true to you, or you could talk to some other person who is a bit different from you, who would then have a great experience of the class. So like in that way, it's hard to say what's good and what's bad in a class, unless it's obvious, like, oh, Craig Mullins doesn't know what he's talking about. But I doubt that part is the case. I think that he definitely knows what he's talking about, and I think if someone is disappointed, it's most likely it's a clash of styles, or what the person thought they would get out of the class, possibly. If you're gonna play the devil's advocate a bit. It wasn't shots fired against you, Jacob. It was just explaining their thoughts. Eric Moy, what's up? So they're a bit weak, and that's interesting. So you can only queue for classes, so it's not like you have a FTP with I mean, obviously you can't have an FTP with all the content because they would be pirated in a second. But so you have to sign up for access. I can see that, so that they can monitor who's watching what. Makes sense. Jacob Mobley. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree. Not everyone is suited to teach. Like, I've heard good things about Craig Mullins and his ability to teach, at least teach what he knows. Maybe he isn't, based on interviews I've seen about him. I mean, he's an older guy, and most likely not time for super hand holding. You either want to learn and you apply yourself, or you do it half-assed. And I think, in my understanding, or possibly of how he might act, is that he has no time for someone who does it at half pace. Then he will do half pace back. That's how I see Craig Mullins. I think he would, if you are fired up, he'll be fired up with you. That's how I imagine him being. But as I don't know Craig Mullins, this is obviously just my my thoughts on him rather than knowing. Hey Captain Bolt, how's it going? How's the Cintiq? Miss Bonestone. I've never tried Skillshare. How's Skillshare? That for me seems to be more like a bite-sized type thing, and you can just eat until you drop. French. Yeah, sometimes people don't really. The thing is, I mean, I've been a teacher for a long time, and it's obviously in a more professional setting, and also in a CGMA class for 4 years. For me, like, I always wanted to teach people the knowledge, and then depending on how intrigued they were themselves about learning, I would ramp up with them. But if a person didn't care and just went through the paces and ticked the boxes and just did just enough to pass, then I've quickly noticed that as well. And, you know, I understood that this person didn't like burn enough. The fire wasn't bright enough, you know, in the terms of dedication. But I always tried to push those artists that kind of coasted, and I said, you know, come on, like you know, create something cool. You know, try to find some like a bridge to them to get them fired up or pumped up, or always try to give them incentive to want to dedicate themselves. But also, if they didn't want to, clearly after that point, I was also not gonna like lose any sleep over the fact that they didn't want to apply themselves. So for me, a lot of the times it was just, you know, always gave them the hand, if you may, and it was up to them if they wanted to take it. In every interaction with them throughout the course, you know, I gave them the chance. You can, you know, learn if you want to. I'm here, but I'm not gonna do the hard work for you, you know. Right, Skillshare. Yeah, I think that's the plague of not so much Skillshare per se, but behavior of the Gumroad world. I'm so in my head laughing. Oh no, come on. Not my day today. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could punch something right now. Oh. Photoshop crashed. One second, everybody. I just wanna cry. There we go. It is what it is. I can't do anything about the fact that today is a shit day. I don't know what to say. Captain Boss, yeah. And you can hear my daughter in the background squeaking. Quick save. Yeah, it's saved now. But still. Like here, you see? Oh, nice. Now I need to open up all the... Hey, man Ripper. How's it going? Welcome to the shittiest day in a long time. Everything is uphill today. Jacob Mobile, yeah, that's nice. Mid save as well, just corrupting everything. Invis graphics. The thing is how I view tutorials, right? Tutorials can be great when it's subject specific. Hey Mel, how's it going? Welcome to a bad day of computer problems all day long. Like I think tutorials and so on are great, like I said, when you want to learn a specific thing. They are not good. Generally, they're not good because everyone thinks they know some stuff, right? So a lot of times what happens is there's a lot of regurgitation. There's a lot of same information being made, and a lot of that information you could source yourself, and when you source that information yourself, you will know it better instead of learning it from someone else. Like there is this whole theory like about that not researching the subject yourself, you'll only learning the shortcut, and you're not actually learning the thing. You're just learning the steps, right? You don't grasp the completeness of the subject. You just learn the steps to get there, right? So in a way of let's take color theory. Like you can download a Gumroad that says use these colors in this way, and you'll have a fantastic painting. And you do that, and you end up having a fantastic painting. You go like, hey, look how good I am. I did this fantastic painting. I recommend this Gumroad. It's great. You'll end up with a great painting. But then you can question them, like, all right, so the theory about what you learned there, like let's say color theory in this instance, like what does it, how does it work? And they would go, yeah, oh, look at my painting though. And you can spot that in a lot of artists' work. You can almost say like, oh, Anthony Jones, how to render character tutorial. Oh, Noah Bradley, color theory. The artists themselves, you can see they don't grasp the knowledge. They're great at following the steps of what someone has told them to do. And I think it's a bit of a shame, you know. Hey, Saru, can I say, or Saru, Jacob Mobley. Yeah, but I think in his instance, everyone just loves that style, right? And when you buy a Raposa tutorial, it's not so much about the tutorial, but it's about learning his style. And it is a very like American comic type style, you know. It is very appetizing to look at, and I think that's the biggest draw when it comes to Dave Raposa is his style, and that it's detail heavy and it's very replicable. You just need contrasting colors, good forms, and then detail pass on top. And he shows how to do it really well, and it's really adaptable. You can pick up it and learn it quite fast, you know. So I think that's why it's you see a lot of them. Also, he's very popular, and it's not reducing Dave Raposa at all. I think if anything, it speaks well to his Gumroads, you know. But I hate my computer today. Super salty. Of all the flavors in the world, you chose salty. Today, man, it's salty day. Screw this. Is it okay if I just go and hide under the desk today? Jacob Mobley, yeah, absolutely. And just to kind of summarize the whole point I wanted to make about buying Gumroads and not understanding the subject, and in a way you're cheating yourself. There's more and more trends of an artist not needing to grasp the understanding. There's a lot of programs that does the hard work for you, not in the sense of what people think a computer artist, digital painter does, press a button and you'll get the painting, but it's going towards that direction, that there's a lot of knowledge and big picture theories that are being pushed aside because the people developing the programs and so on are implementing features and tools that makes it easier for you. Let's say like Octane render engine or ZBrush or whatever. You know, there's things there that optimize the workflow, optimize the interaction. You can get the results a lot faster, a lot better looking. But you don't necessarily understand what you're doing as a new person to it. But magically, you can get better results because we are all visual creatures, right? We can see when something is right. We don't necessarily need to know how we got to that point, but there's a huge chance that we know what looks right when we see it, rather than being able to recreate it step by step in theory. And then, you know, like there's this analogy of of no, not the analogy. It's a funny thing of a dad telling their kids to write an instruction to make a sandwich, and they were like, take the bread and like cut it in half. So he just like took the whole loaf, mushed it, and cut it just in half approximately, and they were like, no, you like, okay, take the bread carefully and slice the bread up and toward and down. So he took the bread carefully and he just randomly cut the bread carefully down, and they were like, no, and they had to like in detail explain how he should actually do it. And then in the end, after a lot of trials and kids pulling their hair out, they finally managed to make him slice a bread. And that's like a great kind of comparison to what the programs can, and a lot of shortcuts people take due to the abundance of knowledge and streamlined process and great minds putting out Gumroads and so on, is that you don't learn it the hard way. You get it a little bit handed to you, and in a way you search for the next Gumroad to fill the gap of the next step that you don't try to solve yourself. In that sense, you practice up to the point where you are caught up with the Gumroad and that you can do the Gumroad quality type work, and then you look for the next Gumroad to help you take the next step, rather than going, okay, so this Gumroad was on step 5 out of 10. Like, the Gumroad just happened to be the 5th step, where a book might have been the 5th step, or me breaking down color theory or whatever. And rather than that being just another part in the puzzle, like, you are now at step 5 and there's no other steps until Gumroad step 6 comes, and then you can take that leap, and it's dangers of that. And I see a lot of artists suffering due to it as well. Like me again, going back to like promoting the old school, good old golden days of forums. That time had some truth to it, because there wasn't Gumroads, there wasn't pay to win information. You just had to scramble. You had to ask people. You had to try to reverse engineer Craig Mullin's latest painting and go, how the F did he do that? And then you come to your own conclusions of maybe how he did it. And you experiment and you try and you understand, okay, in order for me to do that, I need to learn this and that and this and that, and somehow figure out how to implement it, rather than, oh, $4.99. Time's up. Miss Monster, yeah, exactly. Hey Art, welcome to the end. Right, let's raid some happy one that has a better day than I do. Sorry for the saltiness today, Ron, but damn, it's not my day. Let's raid Tim Remmers. He's doing some hilarious stuff. I'm gonna go cry under the table. As per usual, have a great day, better than mine. Good night if you're at that part of the world. I'm gonna do the outro, and after the outro, take us to the raid, so hang tight. See you guys tomorrow morning for hopefully a better warm-up with minus salt. This day is not good. Anyways, have a great one. Thanks everyone for hanging out, and see you tomorrow.